Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome to vlog number 25. So, as you guys know, it's been a very long break. I want to say what, like 6 months, maybe 7 months, 8 months, something crazy like that. But I'm back, and I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me. We hit 400 subscribers while I was away. You know, I'm here walking the dogs. There is a little Mac boy and a little Hazel girl. So let me flip it back. So yeah, so I know, oh sorry, I turned around, I'm getting all dark now. But I know I hit 400 subscribers while I was away, and I just want to say, and I kind of knew it was going to be like this when I got a job, because I kind of get into job mode, kind of lock in, kind of do long shifts, travel a lot. I travel for work, so it's kind of, I mean, I could definitely take the vlog with me while I'm traveling. It's just one of those things where I think it's more of a familiarity thing, and since I'm just starting my new job, I just wanted to, leave a good impression to everybody, so that way they don't think I'm just like some type of weird vlogger type guy, because I don't do this full time. This is just something that brings me some fun. And so I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank you guys for being patient. And there's a lot of stuff that's kind of happened since I was away, and I kind of want to address some issues. My Subaru definitely took a crap, and so we're gonna have to address what happened there, what went wrong, what I could have done better, what you guys should look out for. It's pretty basic stuff, honestly. It's kind of one of those things where you get complacent, but either way, we'll address that after the sequence. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys on the other side. So as you can see, I was doing my oil change, switched over to 5W30, the liquid moly, just because I've heard really good things about it. I know that there's a lot of people that in the WRX community that run this, and I didn't realize that the oil was actually green, or has a green tint to it, which is a little bit different, but I heard it's really healthy for the engine, and so I wanted to go ahead and run that. I've run 5W30 already, and for those that are a little skeptical about running 5W30, I just want you to know that, or I just want to kind of just put it out there that the car runs totally fine with 5W30, and if anything, it just has better heating properties. So if you're going to do like hard driving, canyon driving, or if you live anywhere that gets hotter than like 85 degrees, I would highly recommend switching over to at least OW30, or maybe 5W20, just to get a little bit of a thicker oil inside the engine. And then something else that for you new GR owners, or anyone that is doing their own oil changes, you should switch over to this part number here. It's a Toyota OEM filter, same as the stock filter, but it is slightly longer, so it's able to kind of give you more filtering. And I always run these. I just bought a pack of them on eBay for, I don't know, maybe like 15 bucks. It was like, maybe it came with like 5 of them. I know people that are able to get even better deals if you have like friends that work in the dealership. This is the OEM. It's gonna be, so this is the OEM. This is what you're gonna get from factory. It's gonna be ZZN1, and then this one is gonna be ZZF1, and that's the difference. And it's just like a slight height difference. If you take a look, it's the same thing. It threads in the same, it seals the same. It's literally just slightly bigger, which is going to give you better filtering properties. And so that's just a little advice I have for anyone that is doing their own maintenance, or is just getting into car scene in general. Let's say GR Corolla is your first kind of true track car or race car or whatever. It's just something good to do. I know on my STI I run 5W40. It's even thicker than this 5W30, but out of the factory it requires 5W30. So it's kind of one of those things where for these high boost engines, the turbos get really hot. It is important that you run slightly thicker oil, just to kind of give it a little bit more thermal capacity. And just know that when the engine's getting really hot, especially if you're driving really hard, let's say you are in the canyons or you're just driving really aggressively, in general, let's say cruising, not really too much of a worry. But if you are driving at all spiritually, then yeah, you're gonna run that OW20 very thin. And what ends up happening is, it's good for fuel efficiency. It doesn't give much friction between the bearings and all the other important stuff, valves and whatnot. But as soon as it gets hot enough, it's gonna start being a little bit too thin, and it's just not gonna give you the same. It's just not gonna give you the same kind of protective qualities as thicker oil would. So that's my advice. You don't have to follow it. What do I know? I mean, I blew up my STI, but we're gonna get into that. I just want to do that real quick while I kind of was down here doing my oil change, just because I just got back from a road trip. We just went up north just to look at a couple of wedding venues, because I'm going to be getting married next year. And so I wanted to go ahead and take care of some stuff. And just while I had you guys here, might as well kind of go over that, because I don't think I've really made a video about that. And I know that it's a very kind of touchy subject, depending on who is reading what on Reddit. And I know it's kind of, it's a little tricky to kind of get trustworthy advice, but I do recommend at least running 5W30. I ran multiple before, and all you got to really do is make sure that it has the API SP rating on it, which is basically what you want for just more modern engines, I guess. That's kind of the known thing. And yeah, you could get it 5W30, you could get OW20, whichever, but I do recommend going thicker if you are running in a hot environment. Anyways, I'm gonna do one more errand, and then we're gonna go and get into what happened to my STI. So thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. I will get back to you guys shortly. So one other thing that I did notice running the thicker oil is that I do stay at about 1.8 times 10 psi, so basically 18 psi of oil pressure. Where I was kind of sitting before was about roughly 16 psi of oil pressure. And I know that the GR Corollas are kind of notorious for having low oil pressure. I think part of it is possibly just how thin the oil is, but I do notice that it does increase your oil pressure by maybe like 2 psi. Nothing crazy, but it is a difference nevertheless. And yeah, I do notice that the engine does kind of cool off a little bit quicker. Maybe it's all in my head, but I do kind of notice that. And I have done a track day in this car, and I did switch to 5W30 for the track day, and I never ran into any overheating issues during my track sessions. And I don't think that would have been the case on OW20. And I've noticed on multiple YouTube videos that people that run OW20 or just OEM oil while doing track days do run into some overheating issues, or at least having to cool off a little bit longer in between sessions. And so that is a perk of running the 5W30. And yeah, anyways, I'll catch you guys right now. I'm just gonna pick up some things here. This is my preferred car detailing soap on 3D, and I use them for I use older products. Honestly, I love them a lot. I'm not sponsored by them. I've tried to be sponsored by them in the past. So I felt like we were having conversations, it was going well, and then it kind of just fell through. If you guys are watching, hit me up, and I would love to endorse your guys' products, because I do love what you guys do, and I've used this soap for the last like 6-7 years. So I know for a fact that it's really good. Anyways, yeah, catch you guys on the other side. See ya. Alright, and I'm back. So just kind of parked in the shade here with the AC going. Kind of hot day today. It feels weird, because I feel like in the beginning of the year in California, it's always like that. It's kind of hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. I'm not sure if other places are like that, but I know here in Southern California it's been very cold lately, and now today suddenly it's 96 degrees. It was just like 66 degrees like 2 days ago. It's kind of crazy how fast it kind of picks up. But anyways, so back to the STI. So I did mention it earlier in the video that the motor did go out. And so basically let me kind of give you guys the background of that car. I know I made a couple videos on the build breakdown and all those things. So I owned the car for 5 years. I put about 48,000 miles on it. The car has been tuned and boosted for 4 of the 5 years, and so I kind of had a hunch and a feeling that I knew that, you know, getting into boosting and getting into building fast cars, it does kind of you know, lower the life of the engine, and especially for the STI is notoriously known for many different types of engine failure. Ironically enough, I do feel that the engine could have gone a lot longer if I would have not have been so complacent. So I had a regimen, and I have the same regimen for all of my cars, which is every 3,000 miles I tend to do an oil change, and going in between oil changes I sometimes check oil. I rarely ever check oil, and so that's kind of something that I've grown accustomed to. I've had cars that have oil leaks, and so with that you'll catch me kind of checking the oil, but I haven't had a car that had oil leaks in a long while, and so I kind of forgot to check my oil. And so what ended up happening with the car is every 3,000 miles oil change. I was getting close. I was at 2,800 miles since my last oil change. I had the oil kit in hand, literally ready to go in. I just wanted to do a couple more trips with the car, and I knew I was pushing it, and I wasn't really doing too much Canyon driving. I was just taking it to work, commuting, and so it's kind of one of those things where I knew I should have done the oil change, but it's just about finding the time with a busy life and all these other things. And looking back at it now, the oil change would have been a lot cheaper than what I'm gonna have to pay now. But you know, you kind of live and you learn. I mean, I know what I was supposed to do, I just didn't do it. And so basically I developed an oil leak coming from my oil servicing tube, literally just a tube that you put oil in. It was rubbing on one of my charge pipes, since I do have the front mount intercooler, and it ended up tearing up the O-ring. But the funny thing about that is that on the bottom of the engine, no oil. At the top of the engine, no oil. No visible signs of oil leakage. But if you look behind where the engine sits, like towards the transmission, it's smothered in oil. And so I realized that it had been leaking. It couldn't have been more than maybe a month to 2 months, but it had been leaking a good amount of oil, and I ended up running the car. I think when I finally drained the oil, I think I only ended up pulling maybe a quart and a half of oil out of the engine, and so I did starve the motor, and so now I just have some nasty rod knocks. So, you know, the fix for that, we're gonna go ahead and get into the engine. I'm not gonna spoil too much on the fix of it. Just know it's going to be pretty expensive, and the car is going to be away for maybe a month to a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Kind of depends on how the shop does, but I do trust the shop that I took it to. I'm going to Finest in Azusa. For you SoCal guys, I'm sure a lot of WRX guys know of Finest. And he's kind of a very good buddy of a lot of WRX and STI guys, and I trust him a lot with his talent of building engines. So I'm gonna see how he does, and I'll give you guys more updates on that as it kind of goes. But while I'm making this, make sure you check your oil, because I didn't, and that's why I'm in this predicament. But you live and you learn, and you know, I think for the most part, if your engine doesn't leak oil, you know, 3,000 miles is totally fine. In my instance, it was leaking oil, and I should have caught it. I didn't catch it, and now I'm here. But I was kind of upset about it at first. Not upset to where I'm visibly upset, just more like, oh man, like what's gonna happen? Now that I know what's gonna happen, I'm pretty like not as stressed about the situation anymore. Kind of just excited to see how it goes. Kind of excited to see how much it's going to cost, and I want to give you guys the full breakdown of everything I'm going to do once I know how it's going to go. But yeah, so just make sure if you have an STI, if you're boosted, change your oil, because honestly, it would have. I feel like it probably would have lasted another 4 or 5 years if I would have just stayed on top of it and I caught that oil leak. But since I didn't, they kind of here. Let me shut down the car here. So for those that know, I run an AWE exhaust. I'm going to make a separate video about that because I have a couple of things that I want to kind of go over with that exhaust to kind of caution you guys on it, just because I feel like there's not a lot of reviews, like long-term reviews of certain things. I didn't even have the exhaust for very long and I already have some pretty serious gripes about it, so I'm going to get into that in another video. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on with the STI. If you guys made it this far into the video, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to kind of continue to work on making these more consistent. I'm thinking mainly maybe just like a weekly vlog instead of like a daily vlog, or maybe just every couple weeks or something like that. Just kind of, try to find the free time, trying to find time to edit and trying to make sure I stay on top of it, because I do enjoy making these. I feel like this is a good way for me to speak to you guys, because I do like Instagram and making posts, and I try to type a lot of long kind of stories there, but it is nice to kind of just talk to you guys here or just put it all out and hopefully inform you guys on different things, because there's a lot of stuff that go into the cars that I personally build, and I think there's things that I know I make mistakes on. I know that sometimes you guys could kind of catch me on that, and there's things that I know that I could probably teach you guys as well. So it kind of all goes around, but either way, I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any concerns on the oil or anything like that, please comment below and I'll try to get back to you guys, and I'm going to be more active. So until the next one, I'll see you guys. Peace.